A very warm welcome. You're joining us here on a new episode of Leaders of Tomorrow Season 10. I'm Ritwika Gupta. On the show today, we are bringing you a special conversation with Adidas India and captain of the Indian cricket team, Rohit Sharma. And on the other side of the break, we'll be chatting with Vanshika Goenka, founder and CEO of Kool Kanya. A packed lineup indeed. Let's kickstart the episode talking about sustainability, which has become an increasingly important conversation for businesses across industries. Adidas India and Rohit Sharma have launched a sustainable apparel collection to create awareness around marine plastic pollution. I spoke to Sunil Gupta, Senior Brand Director, Adidas India, and Rohit Sharma about India's sportswear market and why businesses need to be more sustainable. Listen in. Rohit, Sunil, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rohit, I want to begin this interview by asking you, you've been very vocal about raising awareness about environmental issues. Tell me, what does sustainability mean to you, and at what point did you decide to actually contribute towards this cause?
This particular cause, obviously, we were talking for a long period of time, but we eventually decided to create something which will be more functional 6 months back, and finally came up with an idea how we need to take it to the people, how we need to create more awareness. Of course, there's one way you can use your words, you can talk, but to actually come out and do something is something that we always wanted to do. And if we talk about environment, we all know there's a serious issue, whether it's our oceans we need to take care of or environment. But I feel ocean is a big part of our environment, and healthy ocean means healthy life, as simple as that for me. Also, obviously I've got a daughter who loves marine life and she loves ocean. So I know how it feels, and every parent, every friend, every member of the family should feel it that way. So everyone needs to come together. It's not about you, me or him. It's about everyone coming together and acting on it.
Absolutely. Sunil, coming to you, our show is about new age companies, startups and entrepreneurs. When a global brand like Adidas decides to invest in sustainable products, it sets an example. So tell me the motivation behind it, and do you think this is a relevant space in India today?
Absolutely. At Adidas, our commitment to sustainability is core to our purpose, that through sport, we have the power to change lives. We continue to strive to expand the limits of human possibilities, unite and include people in sport, and build a sustainable world. However, we are against time in our race to help in plastic waste. And I think that's where coming together as partners makes total sense. And we also want to work with the very best to help bring our message of ending plastic waste. We've seen certain trends around our Gen Z audience telling us that they've started to care for sustainability. 75% of the Gen Z audience tells us today that sustainability is a key driver when they're looking to buy into brands and their purchase decision.
Right. We have seen you making partnerships on field. Tell me, how has this partnership been with Adidas, and talk to us about the new collection, the idea behind it.
One way people can talk about so many things, but to come out and action it is another thing. And so far, that is something I have experienced with Adidas, which is why my interest, my needs, and my drive toward this brand is, very, very close. And as you see the collection, obviously it's quite innovative. As you can see, we've tried to cover all the marine animals in this.
Yeah.
And it's quite colorful, youngish. So there was, which is what we wanted to do as well. We didn't want it to attract certain crowd. It's for everyone.
Sunil, I want to talk a little bit about the sportswear market in India. What are the opportunities do you see in this space? Not just in metros, but also in the other markets.
I think one of the emerging trends that's coming out of COVID is the need for comfortable athleisure product, right? When you're sitting around at home, lounging, you care for products which really allow you to express yourself and be yourself. And I think that's really elevated the need for something that we call as athleisure. And it's a trend that we are seeing across metros, tier 2 towns, and of course, online and offline both. And I see this will only get amplified, and that's why I think it's important for us to really play in that space.
Right. What would your advice be for new age companies, startups who want to make a mark in this space?
I think keep innovating, work on partnerships. You need to work with partners who can take your message to a wider audience, and stay committed to a cause. I think it's worth fighting for something that you truly believe in, and the results will always be outstanding.
All right. Rohit, since I'm speaking to you today, well, congratulations on completing 15 years, in international cricket.
Thank you.
I actually want to ask you, what do you think entrepreneurs can learn from sports people like you?
The first and the foremost thing for me when I started playing was to never give up on anything because when I started playing, there was so much competition, and my father used to always keep telling me, don't give up so easily on all of this, the rejection of the selection, you not being picked for certain squads and all of that. So as a young kid, it's very difficult to understand that. But I just kept thinking about it, why my father keeps telling me about never giving up. And now I realize what he meant at that point was to just keep trying harder, because sometimes things might not be that easy for you to just go through it. You will find it difficult. So my advice would be very simple, because I would use my what I have done in my life, which is not giving up so easily, and staying committed to what you want to achieve, because it might take a year, it might take 5 years, it might take 10 years, but eventually it will happen. That is something that you have to believe in, and that is what I have done. So I can only advise people what I have done. And the last thing is also, at the same time, enjoy that process that you are going through, because it can be tough. So that process can be irritating, it can be frustrating at times, but you just need to find a way to enjoy yourself while you're doing that, because that's something that we did. We used to hate early morning wake-ups, catch the train, go to our training grounds, but we started enjoying that after a while. So all the entrepreneurs, what they're trying to do, initially it can be tough, but I think if they can enjoy that process of this hardship, things will fall in place.
Finally, our show is called Leaders of Tomorrow, so I want to ask each one of you, like individually, what does being a leader mean to you, and define leadership?
For me, how I look at leadership is firstly leading from front. If you're a leader of the team, you just need to show the way to the entire team that is following you by leading from the front. If you're telling your team to do something, try and lead the way first by yourself. Which is, I can give you an example, like we wanted the team now to play in certain way. I had to show that way to the team, and then the team follows. It's just an example. So I think that is what the first thing that comes to my mind about leadership. And then obviously understanding each one of them and giving them their roles, because every individual you see here are different. They have different mindset, they want to work differently. So you as a captain, as a leader, you need to understand each one of them and understand from what point of view they are talking, or from where they are coming. That is the most important thing, because to understand so many minds can be tough, but that's the job of the leader. You need to understand how you want to take those thoughts of everyone, because I feel everyone should be felt important, and that is how I want to operate, because that importance needs to be given to each individual who are working in your team, trying to achieve something, because eventually you all are working towards one goal, right? You want to achieve something as a team, so everyone should be felt important. And to do that, when I say that, it sounds easy, but it's not easy, trust me, because you're hearing so many people and collecting their thoughts, and you're trying to capture everything and then giving them your feedback. So it's not easy. So I know it was a very long answer, but I wanted to explain this in a nicer way. So
Right.
This is how I could think of.
Sunil, how would you define leadership, and what does being a leader mean to you?
I think for me, leadership is a service. I think it's a service to the people and the organization. And I say people first because I truly believe that people are fundamental to an organization. And as managers and leaders, it's on us to bring the very best out of them, help them grow and develop. And you can do that by respecting them, trusting them, and providing them the right tools and help them to grow and flourish.
Great. Well, it was fantastic chatting with the both of you. Thank you and all the best for the new collection.
Thank you
so
very
much. Yeah, thanks a lot.
It's now time for a quick break. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Leaders of Tomorrow Season 10. Now, women-based platforms and communities have grown significantly in India. These communities have come to play a vital role acting as career support systems for women. In this segment, I'll be speaking to Vanshika Goenka, founder and CEO at Kool Kanya, to understand the idea behind the digital platform, the future of the gig economy, and what it takes to be an entrepreneur in 2022. Thank you, Vanshika, for joining us today on Leaders of Tomorrow.
Thank you for having me.
So, I want to begin the interview by talking about the idea behind Kool Kanya. Well, I've been a follower of your website and the page, and I find the posts relevant, quirky, and inspiring at the same time. So tell me how Kool Kanya, what does Kool Kanya mean, first of all, what it means to you, and what it offers, for women, for working women and women in general.
So, Kool Kanya's mission is to help every woman out there create a career that she truly loves, whatever that might be, whether she wants to be a content writer, whether she wants to start her own business, whether she wants to work and find a side hustle. We want to help every woman out there find a career that she loves, and that's why when you see our tone, it's very quirky, it's very fun, because we truly want to make you have fun while you're working. And when in terms of what we do, we have content right from how do I find a job to how do I succeed in my career to how do I dress to work.
Right.
We also have a community of over 300,000 women where women can find advice from experts, can have a conversation, find someone who's going through a similar journey as them. And we've recently launched Kool Kanya Learning, where women can learn through live courses, right from how do I write content to how do I become a freelancer, tips and tricks of even shooting videos from my phone. So it's a year-long subscription. It's called Power Pass, where we have over 750 live courses and recorded courses as well.
Right.
And we want to hold your hand through your journey of learning and through your journey, till you find yourself, till you find work that really inspires you, and you start succeeding and start enjoying what you do.
So let's go back to 2019 when you founded the company. Take us through the journey, from the initial ideation to the launch. What was your thought behind it, and what inspired you to actually start Kool Kanya?
So I've always really been passionate about doing something in the space of women. Being born and brought up in a Marwari family where we're only two daughters, going through, you always heard questions where your parents were asked, you only have two daughters, aage jaake business kaun sambhalega, who will work, So I think right from a very young age, I was like, I'm going to be that person, I'm going to work and I want to prove myself. So that was somewhere always the back of my mind. And after graduating from college, I started working with a sanitary pad company, and we were looking at redeveloping the sanitary pad, making it more eco-friendly. And we would go from room to room and sort of meeting to meeting. And as we met even product developers, marketing people, I realized there were only men in the room, right? A man doesn't really wear a sanitary pad. How will he relate to it? Forget creating it, right?
Absolutely.
And that's when I started thinking, where are the women in the room? Why are there not enough women in the room? And that's when I started researching, and I decided I wanted to start Kool Kanya, where I wanted to create that safe space where we can hold a woman's hand and, right from when she starts her career, be a part of her journey. So when she goes through those life changes, we're there to support her and make it easier for her so she doesn't drop out of the workspace.
Right.
So that's when Kool Kanya started in 2019. It started with just blogs. I wanted to test the waters, see what topics work, see what doesn't work. And that's when we realized, okay, a community is needed. And that's when we launched just a Facebook group, like an MVP. And then we moved it to our own custom developed website. So, and then, last year in 2021, we launched courses. So it's been a very iterative sort of a journey. We've done a lot of things, we've undone a lot of things, but I guess that's how it is.
Right. Vanshika, my next set of questions are going to focus on the gig economy. Tell me, what is the opportunity you see in this space, especially when it comes to the side hustle, the people who are doing freelance gigs, what sort of opportunities do you see in India for the gig economy?
So when you look at the gig economy itself, right, it has grown so much from 2020 to 2022. It is the income of women freelancers has grown by 40% from 2020 to 2022, and the expected number of workers by 2029 is expected to be around 23.5 million. Right, so there's a huge scope here where women are looking. There are a lot of women who are either new mothers or have a child at home who are looking to sort of earn their own money on the side, and that's something that we see a lot. There are lots of people who are like, okay, I know how to write, I want to learn how I can maybe monetize that skill, learn how to write blogs, learn how maybe even to monetize my social media handle. Right, that's another thing that we've seen. Another trend that we've noticed is that after COVID, people don't trust one source of income, right? So on the side, they want to be doing something, they want that additional revenue.
So according to you, what do you think it takes to actually survive in the gig economy? Because, compared to traditional employment, there is a bit of a risk here as well because you don't have like a stable income. So according to you, what are some of the do's and don'ts?
So some of the do's is obviously have a contract. You need to know how to read a contract. You need to know what you're getting into, right? Because with the gig economy, your income is not promised every month. It keeps changing, right? Yeah. So you need to know, you need to have one or two gigs that are your retainers in a sense, right? Which you know you're going to get month on month on month. Then additionally, you can experiment. Third thing is, as a freelancer, you need to be very good at budgeting. Right, you need to know how much income is coming, what's your outflow, and you need to be well versed with taxation policies.
So tell me, over the last 3 years, what were the challenges you faced as a woman entrepreneur?
So as the challenges as a woman entrepreneur, so whenever I had this incident, I was going to a VC for advice. I wanted to show my business model and just get some advice. And I was having a conversation, and he asked me, do you plan on getting married? I said, sorry, why? Because that will affect whether, you get funding and, your plans, your marriage plans, when you have kids, all of that affects when you get funding. And, at that point, I didn't realize what he said, but I didn't like it internally. And once the meeting got over, I went back and I thought to myself, would he have asked the same question if a man was sitting in my place, right? Would his timeline of when he's getting married, when he's having kids, affect whether he gets funding or not, right? So when you ask, you do face sexism, and sometimes because of our cultural, upbringing or whatever, we don't even realize it. It's so deeply ingrained, right? And at that point, I didn't realize it. It took me like a couple of hours to digest. That had happened to me, and there's so many incidents like that.
Right. So what would your advice be to a young entrepreneur, who wants to get into, entrepreneurship, start his or her own business, especially women entrepreneurs?
I think for generally any entrepreneur, I would first say is start, right? I think we get so overwhelmed. We have the best idea. We think of the idea, but we are so afraid of starting, right? Yeah. Start. You get better as you go ahead. Right? When you know better, you do better. That's something I keep telling myself even now, because otherwise you're like, oh God, I need to make this masterpiece. And you get overwhelmed. The second thing I would say is your journey is yours. Right. Elon Musk has had his own journey, and Facebook you don't compare your journeys, right? Your friend might be doing something, whatever, right? Your journey is your own, your story is your own. What you bring to the table, no one else can bring to the table.
Absolutely.
And the third thing is failure, right? Failure is your friend. For me, failure, I call it failing forward. With every failure, you're moving ahead, you're learning more, you're growing more. So failure is a friend. It's not a full stop, it's a comma. And with every failure, I think learn. don't bog yourself down. You're going to fail, you're going to learn. And just one additional point for women out there, women entrepreneurs, I would say be assertive. You don't need to be liked all the time. You don't need validation from anyone. You need validation from yourself. So believe in yourself. And if you don't like something, if something is not working, express yourself and be assertive.
Great. All the best to you, Vanshika. It was great chatting with you.
Thank you.
And before we wrap up, here's a quick look at our CXO diary.
Dancing or gymming.
And that's all we could pack on this edition of Leaders of Tomorrow Season 10. We hope you enjoyed the conversations. Thank you and goodbye.